Welcome back to the podcast Catch It, A New Perception. My name is Katuk. I really like where I'm at today. And part of that is presently going through chemo and learning to accept the chemo and bring it into my life. And also accept the cancer and embrace the cancer that was in my body long enough to be able to let go of it and gift it back to the Creator. I'm grateful for being able to be gifted cancer, and I'm very grateful for being able to be gifted chemotherapy, even though I know it's a poison being put in my body. I'm grateful to be able to do this podcast. I feel really fortunate that I'm able to upload an episode each week, going through what I'm going through and having the experience that I'm having, and show up to the best of my ability. And what it has to do with, I think, is a topic I think about today. And as I ponder what it is this episode of the podcast will become today, please continue to share this with other people, and thank you for those of you that do. Tell me where you're from. I'd love to hear different parts of the world, different parts of the country, wherever you're from, the city, the state, the country. It'd be really cool to hear from you. Also, thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the comments. They are all much appreciated. And as I think about topic per se for this episode, I think about the fact that it's not the years in my life that count. It's the life in my years. And I think about it in many different ways. I talk about taking my long journey back to the spirit world and being okay with that. And I've been okay with that concept for a period of time to the best of my ability. I remember my wife telling me at one point, this was before my father took his long journey, before my sister took her long journey, she said, when that day comes, you're going to see it differently. And you think that you'll be able to deal with it in a certain way, and I don't know if you will. I'm not quoting her. It was the gist of what she was saying. Having buried her oldest son, having buried her mother, having experiences I had not had in this lifetime. Her, a couple of my mentors at the time all said when my father took his long journey, you see this different than other people, and I do. Gave my father his blessing when he got to take his long journey. I was able to do a ceremony with him in the hospital and ask him to leave and thank him for his lifetime. And I believe it's the best I could do to help him get back to the spirit world. I see my own life the same way. It will be an honor to take that journey back home. It will be an honor to be able to walk back into the spirit world in a good way with a good heart after the things I've done in this lifetime, the way I've changed, the way that people have come to me and helped me change. And it has a lot to do with the way that I live today and having life in the years that are here, the days, the moment, to be able to live in today and know today is a good day. It means so very much to me. The idea that today, well lived, is as good as it gets. And I know when I first thought about this topic, I didn't have anyone in mind other than the way that I move through life. It wasn't about other people, even though I've seen it in them. I've seen people enjoy their life, enjoy what they're doing, make the best of today, make it about somebody else, and make their life count today. I believe that when I live for today, and I live in the moment, whether that's to embrace the pain or the uncomfortability or the neuropathy, the tiredness, to be able to sleep when I need to sleep, get up, eat when I need to eat, embrace the chemo and know that it's doing something for me and preventing more cancer from returning, which I have no intention of having in the future. I'm good with all the cancer I've had. I'm grateful I've been able to have this experience. I don't need, want, or desire it in my life again. I'm willing to let go of all of it. Just let it out of my system. And I'm not saying that I need to take my long journey before that, before I find out I have cancer and get into a car accident and be done. I don't ask for certain things like that when I pray. I like to pray and meditate. I like to contemplate things. I like to be able to be honest. When I pray for things, I try not to pray for specific things. So a good prayer for me to say for myself is the same prayer I might say for you. Good health, good help, and good understanding to you. I say that to myself. I need good health, good help, and good understanding. If I want to be able to enjoy the time that I have today, good health is really important. Good help from the Creator, from other people, from the energy around me. I always need good help. And a good understanding of all of that is the best I could ask for. So it's not an outcome that I pray for. It's not to do this or not have this or not do this, as much as good health, good help, and good understanding. So if it's not about the years and piling them up and living to be 110 and saying, oh, I lived a long life, I lived a good life. How about if I live to be 58 and I can say I lived a good life? I'm 58 years old right now. And if I took my long journey today, I'd be good. I've said that before in this podcast, and I don't want to bring it on. Therefore, I'm doing chemotherapy for the people who love me and for the people that I love. I simply believe that. That's why it's a gift to me. It's a gift to the next 7 generations. It's a gift to the 7 generations in this lifetime. My mother is still here with us. I have grandchildren here. So that's 4 direct generations right now. I had grandparents, I had great-grandparents. If I see my grandchildren have children, that will be 7 generations in this lifetime I have seen. If I see my grandchildren have great-grandchildren, it will be 8. That's incredible to me. And there's 7 generations that will come after them. And that's what I live for today. Could I impact the 7 generations that come after this lifetime? Have I learned from the 7 generations that have come before me and know that history will repeat itself unless we do something different? I'll do something different. I'll do something different than the way that I came up. I was raised well with good morals and values. I did not embrace them right away in my lifetime. I resisted them. I pushed away. I think it had to do with an unsatisfactory aspects of my life, not knowing how to face life, not knowing that today is a good day. Today I was able to see that morning star rise. I believe I will again tomorrow. See that first peak of that sunrise come up over the horizon. That morning star. Watch that evening star set right out in front of my place as it drops over the horizon. Be grateful for what I have today. Know that I have an abundance of everything in my life. I need to downsize and get rid of some things. And I'll do that through some giveaways over the next number of years. Some of them 1 giveaway at a time. Just give things away. At some point, some things may be sold. I get it. I need less things in my life. I need to make this life about people. If I want to live my best life today, I need to make it about the people that are around me. The people that I can touch in any fashion. And if that's to touch somebody on a different continent through this podcast, that is touching them. That would be sweet. That's what this is about. I remember right before I started to record this, I mentioned this line and had a conversation with my wife, how Anne Frank got a lot out of her life. She lived in peace as best she could for the situation she was in. And I use her for an example. There's many of them out there. People that were wrongfully imprisoned and found peace in prison when they were not guilty and sat for what would be longer than a lifetime for some people. Sit for decades for crimes they didn't commit. Imprisoned in camps, internment camps of different kinds around the world now for centuries, for thousands of years. People that are put in position and find a way to have peace. Sometimes people think they have a lot of turmoil around them, and I think that we have a lot of peace around us today. And the turmoil isn't really there unless we create it. When I'm talking about living for today and living just to have some life in today, it's about not having that turmoil, not getting caught up about things, not living angry, bitter, resentful. It's about living with love and joy and kindness. I know that these patterns get repeated in some of these episodes because it's important that we know that today I can be more kind to people who are not kind to me. I can be generous with people who are not generous to me. I can show love to people who do not show love to me. That is the best I can do. It's not how you treat me, it's how I treat you. That is my life today. I am going to treat people better than what they treat me or have treated me. I will talk more kind about them. I will be more generous with them, with my words, with my actions, the things that I do. What is it that you want? Do you want to have more years in your life? Or do you want more life in the years that you do have? Live life to its fullest. Be who you need to be to fulfill that contentment today, to find joy, to be happy today. What if you could just be happy today? Then maybe tomorrow you'll find happiness when tomorrow comes. Because all we have to do is at this one moment find a way to be joyful, to not be bitter, resentful, angry. A juxtaposition. Sometimes I speak and I say something different than someone else. And I might be sitting in a sacred circle and I share something. And it's not to be a juxtaposition. It's to give someone different terminology than what was just used so they know whatever terminology they use. If you use certain terminology and you walk with a good heart, you're good. Someone else uses different terminology, they're right also. Two things can be true that appear to be opposite. I've seen examples of this in my life. I've heard people tell different stories about the same events, and both were true, even though it sounded real different on the outcome. I want to find the truth today, and I want to live within the truth. And the best way for me to be able to do that is to know that I am in harmony with myself. Today, well lived, is the greatest I can do for myself. Tomorrow, when I awake, again, I work for that kindness, that peace, to not be a juxtaposition from anyone in the world, to know they're right with their opinions, their thoughts, the way they feel, the way they think, they're right. I need to correct my thinking, not someone else's. I need to be able to work on how I feel, not how someone else treats me. I know I have much to learn in this lifetime. And I'm in this lifetime to learn, possibly to teach. What I am to teach is none of my business. I only share my experience here on this podcast. Chances are I'll continue to share my experience and how I get through a given day, because I want to get all of the life out of the years that I have ahead of me, however many that may be. Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world. Dok Shao, okay?